Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're diving into an explainer on a topic that, let's face it, touches every single one of us eventually: aging. But hey, we're absolutely not going to talk about it with dread or anxiety. No way. Instead, we're looking at this as a journey of empowerment. Today, we're going to decode the aging body. Specifically, we'll be focusing on the fascinating science behind what actually happens under the hood after you hit 60, and why cancer risks naturally shift during this time. By really understanding exactly what is happening inside, we can transform fear into actionable knowledge. So let's get started.
Now, I want you to ask yourself something. Are your recent bodily changes just normal aging, or could they actually be a warning sign? If you or a loved one are over 60, you've probably noticed some shifts. Maybe you're just a little bit more tired than you used to be. Or maybe your hands and feet feel kind of puffy at the end of the day. It is so incredibly common to just look in the mirror, see these things, and totally brush them off, right? Just a natural part of getting older. But here's the kicker. Sometimes these everyday changes aren't just an inevitable decline. They are literally critical SOS signals from your body, basically asking for a little bit of help. Our source material actually highlights several common warning signs that totally fly under the radar. We're talking about things like unexplained fatigue that just will not go away, even after a really good night's sleep, or getting short of breath from super minor tasks, just bringing the groceries up a single flight of stairs. Then there's swelling, also known as edema, in your hands and feet, or maybe a steadily rising blood pressure reading every time you go to the doctor's office. The key here is, rather than just ignoring these, we really need to view them as your body trying to communicate with you.
So when we experience symptoms like that fatigue or swelling, we usually need to look right at two major engines in the body: the kidneys and the heart. The kidneys, they act as your body's ultimate filter. They clear out waste, they manage fluids, and they even act as a master blood pressure controller. And meanwhile, the heart is this relentless oxygen pump, delivering nutrients to literally every corner of your body. Now, when the function of either of these organs starts to decline, even just a little bit due to age, it doesn't just stay localized to that one organ. Nope, it creates a domino effect, a massive systemic strain across your entire body. And guys, what's truly eye-opening here is the math. The research shows that a functional decline in a vital organ cascades. To put that into perspective, patients who are dealing with chronic kidney disease face a 1.5 to 2 times higher risk of developing certain types of cancers, like kidney or liver cancer, compared to the general population. 1.5 to 2 times. But why, right? How exactly does an overworked kidney or a strained heart end up leading to cancer? Well, that brings us right to the linchpin. The core mechanism connecting those strained organs to a heightened disease risk is chronic inflammation. Think of this as a persistent, low-grade immune response. The source material beautifully likens it to smoldering embers just sitting there inside the body. Now, unlike acute inflammation, like, say, a huge, visibly swollen ankle when you sprain it, chronic inflammation is totally invisible. It just quietly smolders inside your blood vessels and tissues, constantly stressing and damaging your otherwise healthy cells over long periods of time. Let's actually break down how this happens on a cellular level. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. Our bodies are made up of roughly 60 trillion cells. 60 trillion! And they are constantly dividing and copying DNA. Step 1. That smoldering chronic inflammation starts damaging the cellular DNA. Step 2. While our younger bodies could fix these daily DNA copiers with absolute precision, after 60, those repair functions naturally start to slow down. Step 3. Our immune patrol weakens, so it starts failing to spot the errors. And finally, step 4, because the damage isn't getting repaired and the patrol is down, rogue cancer cells are basically handed the perfect opportunity to take root and grow. Which brings us to a really crucial vulnerability: your immune system. The source uses a fantastic analogy here. It describes the immune system as your body's watchman. When we're young, this watchman is on high alert, right? Shining a bright spotlight on any rogue mutating cells and just immediately taking them out. But as we age, that watchman gets, well, a little tired. Its vision isn't quite as sharp as it used to be. And because of that, early signs of cellular mutation can sometimes just slip right past the watchman completely unnoticed. And beyond just having a tired watchman, there are other factors that basically throw gasoline on those smoldering embers. We call these risk accelerators. For women, postmenopausal estrogen drops significantly alter the hormonal landscape, and that can influence breast and uterine cancer risks. And for all of us, a natural metabolic slowdown often leads to visceral fat accumulation. Interestingly, those fat cells actually secrete substances that further promote inflammation.
Add in untreated high blood pressure, silently damaging your blood vessels, or high blood sugar, and man, you have a perfect storm for chronic inflammation.
Okay, I know we just went through a ton of heavy science, and you might be sitting there feeling a bit of lingering anxiety. You're probably wondering, is it too late to reverse this risk? If the watchman is tired and those embers are already smoldering, are we just out of luck? Let me answer that enthusiastically right now. Absolutely not. No way. It is completely within your power to cool down that inflammation, support your organs, and give your immune watchman the backup it desperately needs.
So, where do we start? Our absolute first line of defense is the power of proactive medical checkups. I mean, you can't fix what you can't see, right? And you definitely shouldn't wait for symptoms to appear before getting checked out. Regular screenings are the ultimate proactive tool. Mammograms and pap smears for women are absolutely crucial. Endoscopies and colonoscopies are incredibly powerful too, mostly because they can actually catch and remove polyps before they ever even think about turning into cancer. Plus, simple blood tests can monitor your kidney function, and lung CT scans are vital for anyone with a history of smoking. This is exactly how you catch the embers before they turn into a roaring fire.
Now, let's talk about the daily choices that physically alter your cellular health, starting with a big one, your diet. On the ad side, we want to incorporate colorful vegetables that are just packed with antioxidants, fish rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3s, fermented foods like yogurt or miso to really boost our gut microbiome, and whole grains. But at the same time, we need to be deliberately cutting back on the limit side. That means highly processed foods, heavy red meat consumption, and excessive alcohol. All of those things actively promote that chronic, low-grade inflammation that we just talked about wanting to avoid. Now, if overhauling your entire diet sounds super overwhelming, don't panic. Seriously, the goal here is to focus on micro wins. Let's be real, nobody wants to suddenly have to eat plain kale for every meal overnight. The easiest place to start? Just add one vegetable side dish to your daily meals. That's it. You don't have to become a vegan tomorrow. Just throw a handful of spinach into your morning eggs, or maybe have a tiny side salad with dinner. It's a ridiculously easy dietary upgrade, but it introduces powerful antioxidants that directly help extinguish that chronic inflammation. Here's another incredibly simple upgrade. Walk for just 10 minutes a day. You absolutely do not need a grueling gym routine or an expensive personal trainer to see massive cellular benefits. Even a gentle 10-minute walk around your neighborhood significantly improves your blood circulation, boosts your metabolism, and helps clear out the fluids that actually cause that swelling we talked about. It's all about consistency, not intensity. Just getting off the couch and moving a little bit every single day does wonders for your heart and your kidneys.
And finally, here is perhaps the most underrated tool in your entire toolbox: taking deep breaths to manage stress. Did you know that chronic psychological stress actually creates physical inflammation? It does. But by simply taking a few moments a day to practice slow, deep breathing, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling slowly through the mouth, you actively calm your autonomic nervous system. Combine this with aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night, and you give your immune watchman the crucial rest it needs to do its job properly.
The source actually shares this beautiful anecdote about a 70-year-old patient. She had high blood pressure, terrible swelling, and zero history of exercise. Like none. She genuinely thought she was just too old to change. But she started with just a 5-minute walk. Slowly, she built it up to 10 minutes, then a bit more. And get this, within months, her blood pressure totally stabilized, her swelling vanished, and her entire outlook on life transformed. It perfectly encapsulates a really profound quote from our material. There is no such thing as too late. The moment you start is the best timing for you. So the big question I want to leave you with today is this: what small step will you take for your body today? Because understanding the science of how our bodies change after 60 isn't meant to cause fear at all. It's literally a roadmap for taking back control. Whether it's finally scheduling that checkup you've been putting off, adding a handful of greens to your plate, or just taking a 10-minute walk this afternoon, every single action counts. Your body is listening. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and until next time, keep learning and keep moving forward.